go back a bit. In the upside down model, for example, we say that current education is geared so much to material gain. We say if you get a good education, you get good marks, your theory goes that you'll get a good job, therefore you learn more, and therefore you will be better off. And what we're saying is that nowadays the equation has changed quite a bit because it is so rare a supply of good people who have values, who you can trust, who are loyal to their employers, that I'd say spiritual education actually matters more as you walk into a job in the end. I don't know how many of you would agree with that. If you're spiritual, may I see some hands up who agree with that? Spiritual power actually matters more in the end. Yeah? And you would also want employees, since you're all principals, practically all of you, you'd want employees who are loyal to you. Wouldn't you want employees who are honest, who have a pride behavior? Because how are you going to instill values if the values culture is not prevalent from beginning to the end in the school community? So making spiritual education far more important than material education. And that means that we have to re-evaluate when a child, for example, sees something dropped on the floor, doesn't pick it up. How do we handle that? That every teacher becomes a moral teacher, says, no, it's wrong, picks it up and does it herself. I heard that one place the teacher left her job because the principal said, pick up that rubbish. And she thought, that's not my job. Well, it's everyone's job to clean their classrooms. It's everyone's job to make sure the school is clean, and so on and so forth. So, spiritual education means values education, it means also civic education, it means life skills education, so many things, because they're all interrelated and they all relate to our values framework, things we consider important. The roots being far more important than the outer form of the tree. And if the roots are strong, the tree will be automatically strong. It's not important to look at the external behavior of a child, not necessarily his behavior, the external look of a child, clothes and such. We have to look at what's inside him and how do we then build that inside. And it won't happen unless we change direction and really focus on make that more important and give it more marks than give marks for material education. We designed the, just as a case in point, not in theory, but we designed for CMS about, 5-6 years ago, a new report card. It says, I'm good in so many ways, and I'm smart in so many ways. So good is valued, and the smart is valued. And the good, you can say, okay, my teacher thinks I'm good, I'm generous. My friends think I'm kind. This is the collective wealth that I have. And as I go through the years, I become those things, even if priorly I wasn't. So I think it's very important to, when you say you want to introduce values, you have to put it in the system. It can't be just a few quotations hanging on the walls, and once in a while when you have a function, you have a few programs. Every function, I've been to schools where they do, Michael Jackson and do all sorts of fun events, but really hardly any focus, only one little prayer at the beginning and then it's all filmy stuff. We really have to be focused. Outside they're getting that anyway. Why do you have to do that at the school? It can be fun to do stuff in values, and it is really true. Yesterday I was in Delhi with IIT, and they're planning a conference in December. You're all invited at the IIT Delhi. The hypotheses that we were discussing, that do schools that focus on academic agenda, do they get more successes for their children, or do those schools that focus on values agenda get more academic successes? So let's take a vote. How many feel that if you focus just on academics, you'll get better academics? And how many of you feel, this is option one. Option two, that how many of you feel that if you focused on values, you'll get better academic results? How many stand for one? Please raise your hands. Look around. Nobody. Okay? So you're going to drop that academic agenda, aren't you? It's not. Academics will follow values. If when the children are connected, that's the secret of CMS success, by the way. Okay? Why do children, I just went to that school last time I mentioned to you, only 2.5% of their 10th and 12th board-taking students got above 90% marks. This year, CMS, 25% of children got above 90% marks. 1,004 children out of 4,054 that sat the board examinations for 10th and 12th got above 90% marks. And even at the bottom, it was the collapses there. The data is very clear. So why? Same children, I don't think we have such rigorous criteria. How can you, with 4,000 kids in a large school community, be so rigorous in your selection criteria? We have lots of politicians' children. I hope none of you are politicians here. Okay, we have to take them. So they don't do very well. We have, kids from our own, support staff and families who don't always, many of them do brilliantly. They ended up in so many places, and some of them don't manage so well because of whatever reason. That's where the school might be seen as a failure, if you like. But the fact is, ultimately, the engagement of the child to the higher level and getting them to think beyond the material only provides them a context that nurtures their spirit, and they want to say, I will do better. Many, many children have reported when they move from other schools to City Montessori School, the parents say, oh, I wish I brought my child earlier to this school, because children are now stimulated. They want to work hard. There's some intrinsic motivation going on, much more. And I think it's the stimulating environment, the values-rich environment, a lot of things. So it's worth a case study in that sense, and I'm actually going to look at more data to present at the December conference. Is it true? Is it, my imagination? Many diverse objectives in education, we say education must have only 4 main objectives. And you've probably heard these before, but 1994, I called up my father from the US. I was traveling all over the world. And I said to Papa, I've come up with some 4 building blocks of education. And he was really busy. He said, yes, that's good. Thank you very much, Sunita. Very nice. But he didn't essentially pay any attention. 4 days later, he called me up. He said, I was very busy at the time. Can you tell me what are the 4? I said, Papa, you've got a list of 17 goals. CMS does this, CMS does that, CMS does the other, million goals. It doesn't all fall into any kind of framework that I think could be seen as really a direction your school is taking. You're doing a lot of things, great things, no doubt. So can we think of this? And he said, yes, give it to me. So I'll share with you. And he wrote them down. And then a month later, I was back here in India visiting, and believe me, it was unbelievable. Every branch had adopted the 4 building blocks. They were doing their model class presentations on it. They were doing all their programs on it. I saw a big boat going to all different places of the world in Aliganj branch, and just unbelievable learning about the 4 building blocks and taking this from the. It was just mesmerizing, and they've continued to deepen on that thought process and really define the education, because once there's a vision, once there's clarity of vision, then everything else seems to fall into place. So what technology, what methodology, what kinds of things do you take into your system will depend very much on what you want to create at the end of the tunnel of learning. What is your framework? What do you consider as important parameters for education? So I'll just go through the 4 building blocks. They're well known to CMS staff, but the rest, you also have heard of these. Universal values, nothing unusual. We need to teach children values. This terminology has come from an international perspective, because in many countries like the US, they don't teach, religion. So we say universal values that are acceptable across cultures, countries, and peoples. And then there's global understanding, which means teaching children in a very direct and very concerted way the idea that we're part of one human family, that we love one another no matter which country you come from. We are, creation of one same God. And when I meet my African friend, I'm going to embrace him with the same love and care as I meet my Indian friend or American friend. So that was love for animals, love for living things, love for plants, love for life. And I think that is, seeing the earth from above the ground, seeing it from the satellite, is saying, wow, we are connected, we are one people. And I think that reality hasn't hit a lot of countries. I lived in Iceland for 3 years. They think they're the best country in the world. So do we Indians, okay? There's no difference. Chinese think they're the best. We've got to get away from that attitude to realize that everyone is part of the one human ethos, and that realization will make us not go for wars, not fight the fights we do. So that can have very profound meanings. CMS does 1 million exchanges across different countries. People from different countries come here. There are 31 events, as you all probably know. Lots going on to build that global understanding experience, child-to-child experiences. Going to Pakistan, getting the Pakistani teams here. A lot of stuff is going on. We need to do a lot more of that in our schools. Then 3rd building block, and I call it excellence in all things, because it's not about, the normal definition of excellence, every school says we stand for excellence. Yet every school is undermining the cause of excellence. And I hope you'll agree with that, because we define way too narrowly. We define in terms of the examinations and how children do in examinations. Well, that is part of the story, and children should all do well in examinations, and they will do all very well in examinations. But we must think of excellence first in terms of competition with myself and not with another. What's happening is when we're competing with each other, less excellence is created. And children get disheartened, they lose their confidence. We talk about confidence